Welcome to another MP4Nation.net player and review. Today we have the new Ainol V2000SE. This is an updated version of the Ainol V2000. It no longer uses the ADI chipset. Instead, now it uses the new JZ4740 chipset. It's also been nicknamed the China chip. It has a 360 megahertz core speed and 160 megahertz system speed. It's very similar to the ADI, but it's cheaper than the ADI chipset. That's why a lot of manufacturers are using this now. And here's the box. It looks exactly the same packing as the V2000. The player is similar but slightly different. I'll show you. And here I have Ainol box. The player over here. That's just accessories. You have your 5-pin USB charger, your standard USB cable, your warranty card. If you buy through us, you have a 12-month warranty. And here you have the manual, which is in Chinese, but as you'll see, the player is pretty straightforward. And the standard Ainol headphones. Alright, and let's take a look at the player. It has a 3-inch ltps screen. Many of you may know who are on my forums. I recommend, if you're looking for a video player with a great screen, go for ltps. It's fantastic. It has a mini SD slot down here, a 3.5mm headphone jack down here, a 5-pin USB slot. Unlike the V2000, this has a brushed metal back, so it's a lot, more fingerprint resistant, and it doesn't scratch up as easily. Your buttons here, you have a hold button, and as you'll see, there's the gamepad port missing on this. The gamepad will not work on this particular player anymore. Turn it on. You'll see right away the ltps screen is very nice. And it has, one thing about ltps screens, the viewing angle is just fantastic here. Really is great. Let me just say before anything, one of the big things about this new chipset is it's very robust. If you go to the actual manufacturer's website of the chipset, you'll find instructions on how you can load onto this particular chipset even Linux and Windows CE and even modify it. This chipset is capable of playing game emulation like NES, SNES, and stuff like that, but this particular player doesn't have it. So far, no players have come out with this game emulation, but every manufacturer said it can do it, and they will have players out soon. You're going to see this chipset coming out much more. You're going to see it more out on the market soon because it's just it's a cheaper alternative to the ADI Blackfin. Anyways, you have the standard features here: your music, your video, your games. Your games are something like your rock chip games, the rock games. They're just built in, very simple, like Tetris, Snake, and especially with these controls, they're not very fun. They're just there. And again, this is a out-of-the-box type of firmware, so I don't think Ainol really customized it or anything like that. The radio is better than the V2000's radio. It does have a voice record function and a FM record function. It has a standard ebook reader. You can browse all the files, and unlike in the ADI, you don't have to load the files from the file navigation into the specific music, video, or whatever functions. System settings is pretty cool. You can change a lot. You can find out about the player here. You can see. And it's its first firmware, so naturally you'll find little bugs, but it's very stable. There we go. And you can change the theme. There are 4 different built-in themes. I'm not sure how easy it is to theme it yourself, but for the sake of this review, I'm just going to go with this one because it looks the best on the camera. And you have all your standard, your standard things you'd expect on a setup like this. The music is pretty good. It isn't dual chip like the V2000. It does just use a JZ chip for the audio, but it's pretty good. It does have kind of a playlist. You can order the songs by the title or the artist, the album, and then you can choose how you want it ordered. You can also play by either playing through all the folders if you want to separate the music by different folders, or play all the folders at once. So The loudspeaker is it's the same as the V2000. It's not that great. It's what you expect. And you just decrease, increase. It is kind of easy to fast forward on this, I found. Oh, there you go, fast forward. As you see, I don't really like the loudspeaker on this. But the audio through the headphones, I used my CX300s on these earlier. It was really good. It does support a host of audio formats. It plays MP3, WMA, WMA, VBR, APE, and FLAC. So it does have, you can play all your your lossless formats also. Anyway, and you can multitask in this also. And here you have your videos. And for this one, actually, all the videos you can have resume play. So if you watch one video, pause it in the middle, then go to another one, pause that, you can come back to the first, second, or whatever video and start off from where you left off, and then go to the next one where you left off. So it's just not one video you can come back to. You can come back to all of them. And you see the screen is great. You gotta love that viewing angle. Fast forwarding is pretty easy on this too. Let's skip to the next. Alright, I think the fast forwarding is a little bit. This is an RMVB file. I think the fast forwarding is a lot better on the RMVB, and there's no lip sync issues. Again, if you're planning on using these new chipsets and you're converting your files already, I would recommend start looking into converting into RMVB, because you can have it at a much higher resolution without any lagginess or clippiness, and you can fast forward without issue. And RMVB converts and compresses just as well as Xvid. As you see, it's great. And it does play a whole host of videos also. It plays RM, RMVB, AVI, FLV, DAT, ASF, MP4, the actual MP4 format, WMV, 3GP, and MPEG. And it plays them at a max of 30 frames per second. And you can just exit there. Alright, and then you have the games. It's just, I'll just show it to you quickly. I mean, you can understand it. Just, and you see on the background, maybe you can see where it says the China chips. So I'm not actually making this name up. Will it focus? Alright, maybe not. It can't focus enough. So I'm not actually making this nickname up. This chipset is called the China chipset. So let's exit. And animation is just you can put flash on this or your pictures. And one of the cool things is it does thumbnail. So, and that's where I got wrong. So I guess you can preload images which work on the background. There you go. And you have your radio. Listen to radio, all your regions and stuff, whatnot. Your record function, and you can start record or record from a radio station that you're listening to. Your ebook reader. I haven't really looked at this. Oh, and you can jump to the last page if you need. I guess it's a little hard to judge how this is, considering it's all in Chinese text, but I'm guessing it's just standard what you find on these players. And your file navigation system. Nothing too flashy. Like I said, this is a very robust new chipset. It is a first firmware, like it's version 1, so there are little bugs in this. Even I saw in the little videos, fast forwarding stuff. It's kind of buggy, but nothing serious. You can easily use this player without any problem. And I'm guessing they just get the firmware whenever the company releases a China chips, releases a new firmware. This company is really heavily marketing this chipset, so you're going to see a lot of new firmware updates coming out. They'll probably come out with an emulation one, but the emulation you won't really be able to use on this because there's no controller, and you can't really use the button layout for anything more. So it's a very good player, very robust. Considering the price, it's only like $92 for a 3-inch LTPS screen for 2 GB of memory. I think it's a great deal. Anyway, we have it on our site, so drop on over to mp4nation.net. Check our forums. Chances are this will be up for a prize for the next contest. Alright, thank you.